A cloud of cigar smoke, Christopher Moltisanti's world came crashing down. Welcome back to Fog Entertainment. Fifth last episode. Walk like a man, run like a junkie. And I think that's what Christopher Moltisanti needs to do. He needs to run far away for Tony's crew as far as possible, because you know what? He can't hack the jokes and he can't hack the drugs and the drinks. So I think he should just honestly go away to Hollywood.
I mean, you say that, but it seems like I think Paulie took this too far. Did he not basically say that? Was that not like a strip club they were in?
Aye, yeah.
Did he not basically say that Chris's fucking infant daughter is going to grow up to
be a stripper?
Aye.
That's pretty much what he said, aye.
Like, I think that's mental. Even if Chris had a daughter and she was acting fucking, out or whatever, I don't know, I mean...
Would he say it about Meadow?
No,
Would he say it to Silvio? Would he say it?
I don't know. Silvio's never there to say it to.
Would he say it?
Silvio, that great guy, where was he?
He was in this episode.
Well,
not
I
that
don't
you
even know. No, must be a background.
Would he say it to Bobby?
I don't think so. No.
But you know what? Chris is well within his rights to be pissed off here.
Why did he say it to Bobby? Bobby would have fucking flattened him.
Aye. You Sopranos. You got the Aries. Well, how about that? No, you know what? I think Chris should have fucking sparked Paulie out for this.
Then Tony's laughing, but I mean, look.
Everyone's laughing, but Tony's got this look on his face like...
It's like a devil or something.
And Chris realised...
It's like all their
my
faces...
My friends have fucking ostracised me.
It was a good scene, like, I mean, all the faces were, like, distorted, and, I mean, it was going to give you, like, horror vibes almost a wee bit. Yeah, but again, it's like, I mean, look at the whole Jenny Sack thing, and £90 fucking mole or something or whatever it was, and I mean, they wanted Ralph killed for that.
I think it just shows you
that Paulie can turn around and say about, I don't know, is Chris's daughter born yet, or is his wife still pregnant?
No, she's born.
Can't right. Alright. Well, she's fucking young, you know what I mean, and
she's like a year old, maybe, I don't know.
And he's coming out saying that shit.
No, you're right. I just think it just goes to show you how far down the ladder Chris has went. He's not viewed as like one of the top guys anymore. You see, like in this episode, Tony's talking with Bobby and Sil. Paulie's floating.
Was he ever though? Was he ever in your eyes?
Tony used to get him to help him a lot.
I think Tony seen potential in him. But I think it went from Chris has got the potential to Chris is not really it. I never really felt like Chris was the man behind Tony.
Yeah. But this episode basically...
Have you ever felt Chris was genuinely in the pecking order above Paulie?
Above Paulie? Nah, I mean... I don't know if he ever felt above Paulie, but I feel like ever since Adriana died, or got murdered, I think he's just nosedived with his big
fucking... There's been a murder.
With his big nose, right? He's nosedived. But even guys like Carlo just feel fucking bigger than Chris these days. Chris just feels like...
Should Chris have took Adriana's offer to do a runner?
Well, looking back, he should have. He greeted about it at a therapy session. He's like, that fat fuck, not 1 ounce of appreciation. But it's like, she was a rat. What's he want Tony to do? It's almost like Tony's using it as like one more bit of ammunition over Chris.
Does Chris think that Tony should, I don't know, treat him better or... favour him.
Pours you a drink with one hand and judges you with the other. He's a bastard.
He is, but you know what? I mean, Chris wasn't exactly a great guy in this episode. Just murdered his wee writer friend.
Yep, murdered. Well, no one knows what JT Dolan, but yeah, he gets dropped. Chris, you're in the mafia. Good night. He's gone. I mean, what was worse, what Paulie did or what Chris did this episode? Take out JT Dolan because they're not going to factor that in. You know, little Paulie. Little Paulie getting fired out a window.
Yeah, people would argue, what he did. Chris's, wife and kid were in that house. But at the end of the day, I mean, what Chris done? Maybe what Paulie done turned out to have, worse consequences or whatever. But what Chris done was the worst of the two actions. Surely, I mean, he fired some guy out of a fucking window.
3-story window.
For that height, could have very easily died.
Yep. 6 fractured vertebrae. Not good for little Paulie. Absolutely not, but...
Tell you what, he done well to take a flat back bump.
He did. Mick Foley's fucking proud of this one. But
Foley when I took it.
damn right. But the episode did end with Chris. He gets home drunk after he murders JT Dolan, who I think was a decent character. He was writing an episode of Law and Order. Well, he can be in his very own episode because he's dead. Why did Chris kill him? I think Chris killed him because he was kind of getting a bit moody with Chris, and Chris also told him 1-2 things he maybe shouldn't have told him.
But see, like this episode, man, you do feel bad for Chris, and then he does that, and it's like, well, he's a bit of a scumbag.
Yeah.
So.
Can't really. Yeah, it's like as much as you can feel bad for him.
I did feel bad for Chris, but then he kills this guy, and you think he just murdered him over pretty much nothing.
Bugger all, and he goes in the house with the rock music blasting down and down and down. And so, what do you think's next for Chris? Not Chris. Crushed. What do you think's next for him? The nose grab of doom, or is it justified at this point? Does Chris need wiped out, killed?
No, I mean, I imagine this might set him off the rails. Maybe he'll go back on the gear, back on the junk.
You know what though? He is a bit shite. He took a few drinks here with Paulie, and his fucking arse was hanging on. He was all over the place.
Yeah, the way he's stumbling out, like as if he'd drunk about 10 fucking bottles of vodka liters or something. I don't know.
Vodka liters, they special liters. Vodka liters, buddy.
But
you know what? I think there's two sides. I think Chris took it extremely bad, right? Like a little bitch almost. But I do think the jokes were too out of line by Paulie, but it just shows you the respect's gone for Chris. Like, look at Johnny Sack with the Jenny Sack joke. He fucking took that extreme, and I mean, honestly. See, if Paulie makes this same joke about Meadow or someone like that, like we've said earlier, it would have been good night for Paulie, but he knows that Chris is really no longer respected. Speaking of a guy that's got no much respect, AJ, he's depressed, he quits his job at the pizzeria, he even hangs around with Blanca, hugs her, starts greeting on her shoulder, talking about how it hurts so much, and then she's like, oh, you done this at Starbucks? You're embarrassing me.
Why would she be hanging out with him though?
I don't know, maybe he's like, here, hang with me or I'm killing myself, and she's kind of backed into a corner. That's kind of what he felt like he was doing here.
Well, if he wants to win her back, this isn't the way to go about it.
I don't think AJ is going to win her back, but you know what? You need to cut all ties. You can't just be hanging around the fucking construction site like a loser.
This whole thing took me off guard. I wasn't expecting this.
AJ go this far off the rails?
No, I mean, just, I don't know, just the way they split up and like with no explanation. I thought maybe there would at least be another dude or something like that. Maybe give AJ a further storyline. Seems to just be, she doesn't want him anymore, now he's just depressed.
He needs to accept it. Tony goes to...
be something more than that.
Tony goes to Dr. Melfi. He basically says, this is going to be my last session, but then my son went to try and kill himself, and I can't have that. He's talking suicidal. Then he starts greeting these putrid fucking genes. And he wasn't talking about the stonewashers. He was talking about his DNA. His DNA of TNA. Depression doesn't exist, Tony. Fucking wise up, you big fat bastard. Out of that.
Aye. Well, I mean, I think it does. It exists in the Soprano household.
But Tony's right. Like, you know what? I'll actually agree with Tony. See, depression, right? Of course it exists. But there's just strong people that can deal with it. And I think Tony is one of those guys that can deal with it.
Why has he been seeing a therapist then since season 1?
But he's never talked about killing himself. He's not that weak. Yeah, I don't think if you see a therapist, you're like automatically like the weakest man alive. Don't think it helps you. But for me, it's like
I think
there isn't a person on planet Earth that's never been done. There's some people that can bounce back, and some people that can't.
But yeah, you're right. I don't necessarily think it's a sign of weakness. I mean, it's like basically you can probably use it to confide in someone and tell someone stuff that you haven't told anyone else. I mean, yeah, it depends how you look at it. I mean, you could look at it, you're maybe seeing a therapist to get, like, basically just advice, a different side of the opinion.
Yep.
Or, you could be seeing a psychiatrist or therapist because, like, you're mentally not all there in the head. I think Tony falls into the former.
Yeah.
I think he just likes being around someone that he can tell his problems to. Because
a neutral party.
Because when you look at the line of work that he's at, maybe a bit similar to Jury. You know the way he just says that JT always came to him because he wasn't in the club?
Yeah.
And JT could speak to Jury about things that maybe he couldn't.
Didn't wear his patch.
He couldn't
Dr.
speak.
Melfi doesn't
So you
Where
know,
they sit.
it could just be, and Tony can't exactly go home and talk to Carmela. Doesn't feel like he can get conversations there.
And he's kind of cut all ties with Hesh.
So it's like, you know, yeah, but even Hesh, he's involved in a way because he's friends, and he's around that circle.
Yeah.
Maybe Tony likes the ability to be able to talk to someone that's cut off from the rest of his world, and he can be open and honest.
But a good scene here for James Gandolfini. My putrid fucking G. It's my boy. My boy. They then put AJ to a therapist, but doesn't really lead to much. He gets antidepressants. Tony then notices Carlo and Patsy's sons, and he's like, oh, I wish I could speak about my son like they speak about their son. So he essentially gets their two sons to ask AJ out to hang out with them, which he does. We then see them pour like sulfuric acid over the toes of this guy who didn't pay his money. So is AJ going to get in the mob? I doubt it, but yeah, torture some guy's toe jam.
Yeah, very strange. Acid or something on the fucking
Sulfuric acid?
on the toe.
Yeah, but at least AJ's getting out the house. Yeah, I mean, that's a good thing for him. And that's pretty much the episode. The fifth last episode of The Sopranos.
It was decent. I mean, I thought it was alright. I like the Chris stuff. I think AJ's. I think season 5. I think this season's probably AJ's best season.
No, I would agree with that. Absolutely. And
Hard to judge the first couple because he was like so young and didn't really do anything.
I think it was good to get like another Paulie Chris episode. I think they have been like the strongest episodes of the show. I think.
Just look at Sil and it's like, what's this guy's name?
What is he actually doing, man? I just don't get it. But anyway, up next we've got Kennedy and Heidi. And then after that, we've only got 3 more episodes, so we're flying through it. I will give this episode
I'll give it an 8. I'll get an 8.
Oh, I'll get an 8 as well. I thought, yeah, big JT Dolan, man. He took one for the team. Anyway, have that in your Law and Order sandwich, buddy.